Can't tell it's been in the dirt, can you? Wouldn't be too bad, but some of that had some dampness underneath it, which just makes it stick hard. Sometimes it'll actually, well, you can see this right here, that sticks out about 3 inches from the metal piece that it's stuck to. And here's what I love about New Holland. That wraps like crazy right there. John Deere had that issue and we were able to modify it so it couldn't do that, but this thing I can't do the same modification on. But here's what I'm looking at this morning. I got to counting up acreage since we flipped these over. Keep in mind where my fingernail is, let's see, about there is the center of the blade. So we wore it this far and left that. So I've got that much left on this one. Debating on what to do. The more important stuff I have, I'm going to do first. It's in the creek bottom. It's still green. It'll make good hay. The stuff I don't care about is up on top of the hill where our hay barn is. It's a bunch of crap and it's going to be dirty. So they're all just about like that. This one too. Maybe a little more wear on it. That one maybe a little less. The end one is the biggest pain in the butt. Because this end ones take the most. Because it's cutting from out there all the way around to here. Where the rest of these are only cutting, not even a half circle, and that one's cutting 3/4 of a circle. I'm really thinking about seeing if I got to use a set of blades to throw on that end one just to get by. Because the others aren't far enough to change, and I think I can get through everything with them. I hope. Then I'll be done. But I got to figuring out, since these have been flipped over, I've done 70 acres. And I noticed last year we were getting quite a bit on each side of the blades. The factory ones from John Deere, we used to flip them. If we got 30 acres, we were doing pretty good. If we got 50 acres, that was exceptional. So, we'd get between 60 and 100 acres out of a set of blades by the time you flip them. The New Holland blades on this thing, yeah, they're pretty much the same. These blades are, I think, our third set we've put on from Shoop. And I think they're holding up a lot longer. We're getting, at least 20 acres per side more, at least. Like I said, I've run 70 acres on this second side. And at that rate, I should have more than enough blade left to finish. I'll probably finish starting to leave some skips, which I've done that on the same field I plan on finishing up on anyway, in about the same conditions. Like I said, I really don't care at this point. Is it worth toasting a new set of blades? No. I don't really want to put a new set on the end. Because, with what I got to do, they're going to be one side wore off and the rest will all be new. Could almost just switch with this end. Which that might be an idea. Because this end, you got to remember, you're not always going to get full cut. And I don't like leaving strips, so that may be what we do this morning. We may just go ahead and swap those. I think. No, we can't. Wrong ones. Damn it. So much for that idea. Yeah, they turn opposite directions, so that won't work. I think we will knock a little bit of junk off, though. Because this here's rubbing on the turtle, as I already knocked it off when you weren't looking. And this is rubbing on the blade. I don't take much to just knock those few spots out. So, anyway, you know what I'm doing today. I'll probably get you a few views, but I just wanted to show how well these hold up. So, like I say, that's 70 acres, and you guys have seen what I've been cutting. And this thing settles as you're going, so even though I've got it rocked back to keep it up out of the dirt, like that dirty field I was up on yesterday, about every round and a half, if I don't remember to pull it back up, it's just settling down and cutting all the way down into the dirt. And that may be where most of this crap that's got stuck to it come from. I don't know. But if I can finish cutting today, this thing will get a sprinkler put underneath it for a couple hours. Put a sprinkler underneath these things. This isn't as good as the John Deere's were for doing it, but the John Deere's worked out really well. Put an oscillating sprinkler under it, close the lid, and walk away for 2 or 3 hours. When you come back, hook up the pressure washer and literally just zip right over it. It takes about maybe half an hour to do the whole thing with the pressure washer because it gets softened up. Using the sprinkler, it gets soaked in good. And with the lid down, it holds the humidity in. Sun beating on top, it just kind of makes a sauna for it, which loosens everything up. Anyway, I'll get you some more later. Oh, and another quickie while I'm remembering it. Andy texted me this morning, and he might be going home on Wednesday. Things are doing really good for him, so I'm very happy about that. So, on his behalf, thank you all for the thoughts and prayers for him. You know, I believe that kind of stuff works. I also don't like about the New Holland. The shiny spot. The shiny spot. It's because you can't get this all the way in before it gets into where it will hold the nut. It'll hold it off just about here. And then that happens. So it's not sucked in all the way tight. This one's been done before and been filed, so you get it back in again. It's going to get it same thing again. The John Deere's that we had in the past, that section there with the flats was literally twice that high, and it would start to line up before it was in, and that used a bolt from the bottom, so the bolt had the flat. And I see on Shane Holst was showing the other day the new ones, rather than having the two flats like this, the John Deere uses a hex that goes up in. I don't know. I don't think that'd be better. I think that might be worse. But at any rate, once they suck up and they're wrong, you can see they really only made it halfway in. And you can see what happens when it does that too. That's hitting metal someplace. That's not on dirt. But, yeah, I'll clean those up. It's time to replace nuts anyway when we put new blades on. So when I'm done, I gotta order them. We've been getting those from Shoop also, and they're not only cheaper than from the dealer, but they hold up longer. That's all I got to say about that. I mean, I've proved it in the conditions we're cutting in. I mean, factory blades would have been gone. I'd have been changing yesterday. I would have changed all of them. And today, all I'm doing, I got a used set I'm putting on. Got one new side. Time I'm done what I'm doing, I don't care if we throw them away. Or we'll throw them back in the box as a used set to use again later when we put brand new on. So, yep, I'm still working on this. Hey, look, green grass. And some Canadian thistle. There's some blackberries out here too. It's a good year for those everywhere too. Even stuff that did get sprayed for it still has it. I know somebody that recognizes that barn. They wouldn't recognize the old house if I could see it from here. You might recognize this place. He probably recognizes the bottom ground over here. Yeah, I know, another rough field. But, even though this place is known for gophers, I haven't hit any gophers yet. No gopher dust. So, my plan for this piece right here is going to go in big bales. It's going to be pretty decent cow hay. And right over there, most of that's going to go in small bales because I have a customer right across the road that she usually gets 3 or 4 ton a year from us, and she needs it. So, yeah, I'm really right in the middle of Idaho Farmers family's old place, because this was part of it before it started getting sold off many years ago. Across the road was part of it. Only thing left is there's 20 acres over there. 8 of it is on the other side of the creek over there in the timber. We farmed it right after his family moved out of here. And people that had it before the ones that have it now, they thought they could do everything orgasmic, and you could do a lot of stuff that way if you figure it out. But she had this fancy fertilizer. It was a liquid fertilizer that she wanted us to put on for her. Oh, fancy right in there too. I just threw 3 of them in underneath that tree, but not there. And that fancy liquid fertilizer that was supposed to be orgasmic, well, it was supposed to kill the weeds, and it was supposed to fertilize everything, and it was supposed to do this, and it was supposed to do that. Ended up in such a weed patch, it wasn't even funny. So after about 5 years of thinking she was going to be the orgasmic hay grower for her horses, we ended up working the whole place up, spraying the hell out of it, and replanting it. People that got it now, we started out, we made hay on it. They decided that we didn't get to it soon enough, so he went out and bought his own equipment, and that's great. I think there's been about 5 different owners of that place, but I haven't been close enough to see what his baler is. He's got a little baler, and it's a little baler too. Foreign made, that's all I know. Last year he had issues with it, broken needle, and I guess it was like 6 or 8 weeks to get a needle shipped overseas. This year, he doesn't do bad for somebody who's only just started doing hay, and all he does is, there are probably about 8 or 10 acres there, I guess. He did his research, he figured some stuff out beforehand. But he cut in May this year. The very first piece that I cut, I was checking fields before that, and I came past here and I looked down and I went, nice! He had all of it cut, all of it in the windrow, and the darkest stuff you see here, that was about the best hay he put up. It got rained on for about 3 weeks. So, yeah, unless you got it really figured out, don't try to go early. It ain't going to happen. There's some dock for you. So, anyway, imagine this is more than long enough by now. I might get you a little more. We'll see. See what the day brings. This is probably all I'm going to do today is cut. And I think I got too much already. Video, that is. But, y'all seem to like watching it. Even if all you're doing is staring at a mirror, or another mirror, there, look at yourself. So, I might get you someone up on the hill. If it isn't too hazy, we can actually see. And earlier there was an east wind, so it's going to be hotter than hell. And that'll either bring the haze in and quit blowing, or it'll keep blowing and keep the haze out. More story time. This is my 10th round. I think I was on round 3 when the AC quit. Had trouble with the fan on this thing for a few years. Had the top off a few times. Haven't been able to find any problem. Test everything, it tests fine. I'm doing something I never do. Windows open. If I was in the next field, I would have already gone home. This field is actually fairly clean. It's rough because it's had gophers in it for years, but only found a few spots with them. But anyway, in the meantime, the last year or so, when you get in here and turn the fan on and it don't work, open the door and slam it, fan comes on. So I've been figuring probably a ground issue. I don't know. And earlier it's like, oh, it ain't doing much. Well, no, because it was no longer. And I don't think it's actually, they got low, purge, and high. I don't think it's actually been getting the purge. I think it's just been on high. Purge is much better if you want to cool off. So, it was like it went to low for a while. Then it went to nothing. I've turned it on and off, I don't know, half a dozen times. Slammed the door probably 20 or 30 times. But it's like I don't have much left. And by the way, it's at least 85 outside, so you know what it is in here. The towel I brought to lay behind the seat for leaning my arm on is now half soaked from keeping it so I can see out my eyeballs. I was going to do a little earlier. All that browner strap, but there's some rain in it. And I just, in the middle of those trees is the creek. Same creek runs through our place. I'm about 2.5 miles from home upstream. The creek actually starts quarter or half a mile off the end of the field up here. Used to be a little bell pond. Current owners filled it in and planted a house on it. The old guy that used to have it, he was really nice in the summer when it'd get dry later in the year and the creek levels would go down. He would open up the spill gate and let some water down so everybody could irrigate. Yeah, don't happen anymore. There ain't no pond left up there anymore. But anyway, a spot back in the middle of the field back there at the base of the hill is actually elevation-wise lower than the bottom of the creek is over there. Yeah, we still farm it. We actually did check elevation on it, I don't know, 20 years ago, and the surface of the field in the lowest point over here is a minimum of 1 foot below the bottom of the creek. And up here, the creek is all rock bottom. It's nothing like it is down at our place. It's not as wide for most of it, and say it's all rock bottom. So anyway, we end up with a wet spot up here. Sometimes we can get through it, sometimes we can't. When we used to work this and put grain crops in here all the time, we could actually work the whole field. When it comes to spraying and fertilizing, that's why you got long booms and it throws fertilizer a long ways. Last time anybody was stuck in here, hired man buried the spray rig. Oh, kind of in line with that patch of canary grass. And I asked him, what did you walk it first? Well, no, I figured I had it made here. Yeah, the wettest spot of the whole field, they figured he had it made. And I have almost been stuck with the fertilizer buggy in here. This year I actually spread across the whole thing, and the wettest spot was 100 feet this side of that chunk of canary grass over there. So, yeah, things change. We'll see how far I make it. Last year there was some we didn't cut. But say if the ground's worked every year, you can get over it to harvest it every year. Found that to be true in a lot of places that are a little damp. And actually I am in, yeah, right in here is just about where I almost got stuck with the big baler last year. It's kind of a peat soil in here. And I had to slow down to make a turn, and that was the wrong thing to do, I guess. So I watched the tires close, see if I'm starting to sink or not. I got a feeling right there is probably going to be the wet spot. We'll find out. I just hope I don't get stuck because I'm already way too hot to walk home. So with that, I'm going to call this the end of the video. It's probably at least 20 minutes. God, I don't know. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. Hopefully you like it enough. And, oh, nice gopher mouth. That's like about a foot high, and there it was. Well, most of the field hasn't been that bad. Anyway, thanks again for watching.